Did you know the reason why there is such an increase in divorce among African American is because black people don't like black people? Well, according to my next guest who's here to talk about that, that's his conclusion. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of 2.0. I'm happy to be connected with you. I'm happy to be back on your screen today. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of you who come back week after week to watch our episodes. We really appreciate it. We thank you for the love and support. And if you're new here, we just want to extend the invitation to you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that every time we release an episode, you will be notified. So today I have a wonderful gentleman in the studio with me today that we're going to be talking about a topic that is very near and dear. I've been talking about this for the whole month, and we had different guests who's been talking about it. And today is just basically a continuation of this topic because he was, grateful enough to have me on his podcast where we had the first episode, we talked about it. And today we're just talking about part 2. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, help me introduce on the set of 2.0, my dear friend, Franck Zanu. Frank, how you doing, man?
Very good.
Hey, welcome to 2.0.
Thank you. It's a nice studio, yeah.
Oh.
Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on the show on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah,
That was
yeah.
quite a spirited discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said earlier, for this month we've been talking about the divorce epidemic that we are seeing, just in the world, really. And I know when we were on your podcast, we talked about the rise that we were seeing, and especially within the African American. And it was funny because your conclusion is because black people don't like black people, or we don't support one another, and that's why, like, if we don't support one another in other areas, then how can we truly support one another in the romantic life, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So would you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, you did ambush me there when you said, I said, we don't like each other. See, it's a serious topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to do with us. It's got to do with our children.
Yeah.
It's got to do with our future.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no question about it.
Right.
You don't need to go and look at statistics. Everybody says it. And it's not just that divorce,
mm-hmm.
but it hurts people. It hurts the women. It hurts children.
Right.
And then it hurts our community.
Absolutely.
And it cannot continue. So I'm really happy that you've brought up this topic.
Mm-hmm.
You think about it. You look at the Breakfast Club with a huge following, and you will think things like this that affect us, they will bring on people to start talking. No, but they will have Umar Johnson to come and yab about people who are going for snow bunnies and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So when you came on my show, yes, this is the part 2. Mm-hmm. And let me go back and then refresh people.
Right.
Because after I have made my comments, you ask me, so what is the solution? And I said, well, we should stop marrying each other. And, somebody said, what is the cause of divorce? And I said, marriage is the cause of divorce. But I am no expert on marriage or on any human relationship or anything like that. I'm not even a psychologist. But what I have trained myself to do as a result of my background is, I'm trained to be a journalist.
Yeah.
So I've learned how to collect information about any particular phenomena, collect enough information.
Right.
And leave the central one, because everybody goes for the quick one.
Right.
Which is emotional and, less tasking. Why are they divorcing each other? Oh, the women don't care, the men don't care, the government is making women drive their men out of home. That is the easiest one, And if we continue, well, that is not going to yield any solution.
Right.
So, like I told you on my show, when you sent the topic to me, I began to look at entries in Google, and I look at many podcasts, and I said, no, nobody is talking about this.
Right, yeah.
And so I began to look at the relationship between and among blacks as a whole.
Yep.
Men to men and women, parents and children.
Right.
We have to look at all that. And then we can say, why do we think this one particular institution will be different?
Yeah.
So when I came to this country, the first thing you hear very commonly is that blacks don't support each other. When a black person opens a supermarket or a grocery store, blacks wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
The second one is that blacks have what we call the crabs in the bucket mentality. When a black person is trying to do good, the others will drag him or her down.
Yeah.
We talk about black on black violence
Right.
in almost all cities across the United States of America. Okay, so you look at all that and you ask yourself, why? If people really like each other,
Yeah.
and number two, in this country, blacks share a common history. They were brought here from Africa to be slaves.
Right, unwillingly.
You would think that that condition, when it was over,
Yeah.
that would force us to become the most tightest, neatest community in America.
Right.
We've seen it with other groups.
Yeah, of course.
So that alone raised a lot of questions in my mind. How can a people who suffer the same condition historically
Yeah.
are the ones now who hurt each other most? So with all the things I've said, then I said the conclusion is then the marriage institution wouldn't work.
Yeah.
The thing is, okay, in nature, the male, is attracted to the female.
Right.
That is natural, just on it. All right. So if you see a woman, you're a man, you're going to be attracted to the woman.
Of course.
But we've forgotten that that is just purely instinctual, right? That is
Right.
the animal level.
Emotional, yeah.
Emotional. But marriage is an institution that is only held tight by culture.
Right.
Indians love each other, or Japanese love each other, Koreans, Arabs, you name it. But you see, they marry on the doctrine of their culture.
Right.
They marry to further something.
Right.
Sometimes they're not even aware of it. Koreans still practice eugenics. They don't just marry because you're good looking.
Right.
They have to look at your background and say, well, I'm marrying him or her because I want to further something which is tied to the culture. Why do we marry black people? That's the thing. I don't think anybody thinks about that.
No.
I'm 25 years old, I'm good looking, she's this, let me marry.
I have a job. I have a
a
house.
job, that's correct.
Yeah.
Even soldiers, when they go to war, they say the objective, capture the enemy dead or alive. That is the objective.
Right.
Or the objective is crush the other country and take over. There is an objective for every human project. You must have an objective.
Right.
The objective becomes the driving force. Marriage must have the most powerful objective. And I think other cultures have shown that they have that objective.
Yeah.
What is our objective? That objective would drive the way you relate to each other. Your children will see it. They don't have to learn marriage.
Right.
They immediately inherit it because they watch dad and mom. And, so when they grow up, they know that this is what I have to do to drive the objective of this institution. So question is, what is our objective? Now, you may think that this is only in America. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
on the continent today, it's the same thing.
And the continent you mean by Africa?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, you tend to have a media, okay, and other social outlets
Yeah.
that tells the story. People are doing research on it because it affects the economy, it affects crime, a whole lot of things. That's why they discuss it much in America.
Yeah.
Over there on the continent, no, nobody cares about it. The same way people are born and die in any country in Africa, and the government never knew you ever came around because majority of births are not registered. Death is not registered.
Right.
Okay, because you're born in a village, you grew up in a village. But I'm telling you, the divorce epidemic is high.
It is.
And there are two types, like I explained on Wednesday. There is the physical divorce, which is in Africa,
And the
which is
emotional
the guy leaves the house and walk away.
Yeah.
And then there is the emotional one, which means he's around,
Yeah.
but there is nothing if you walk in there to say that these people are married. Now, this was not the case before what we call countries now were made to become countries. When it was tribes,
Yeah.
it was a community. You live close to each other. You can see each other.
Yeah.
So it forces the institution to remain. You cannot just walk away from a woman.
Right.
In any community in Africa, they will call you out. They will have you responsible, or they will disassociate you out of the village.
They will disown you.
But now it's a country. There is no one central culture in a
Yeah.
country like Ghana, Nigeria. There's no central culture for the country. So now people are living in neighborhoods and they are doing it, and it's just hurting because, like I said, there is no objective. Tribal influenced objective. No.
Yeah. So do you think the loss of culture is the price we pay for evolution?
Of course, in everything, the loss of culture. That's why most places that were once interrupted, either by invasion, colonization, or when it is over, the first thing they worry about is to go back and fix what they lost, the culture. If you need to create an artificial one, you create it. Plato said in his Republic that to repair Greek, or the civilization at its worst, is that we must move to a different area where the kids are educated differently. And I think Aristotle or somebody came back and said, but who would educate the young ones?
Right.
The same infected adults will educate the young ones. So many places, they would have to recreate it. If it's a language, you have to. In many places like India, Hindi is now, the official, the widely spoken language in India.
Right.
So it kind of unites people, language.
So what do you think it all started from? Like, where did we start to lose the culture?
Well, as soon as you arrived here, you were taken from different tribes. Right. So let's say one ship would contain more than 30 different tribes that spoke different languages, different culture, different history, everything. Customs and traditions. You arrived here as slaves. You cannot practice those traditions, which holds people together, or the customs, or the language. So the culture is gone. Once language is gone, culture is out of window, right? So you don't have anything.
So would you say we're still seeking for that culture, or we're still seeking for that very thing we lost? Or maybe we don't know that it's the culture that we're seeking.
That's the point. First, you have to know what you've lost in order to look for it.
Right, exactly.
You need to know. So, I'm a student. I'm a root cause.
Right.
I always, even when something happens to me personally, I have to look for the root cause. I try hard not to go for the emotional response, which has been fed into me. I'll say, wait, and it can take me years to look for it. I will look for it, because if you don't, it's bound to repeat itself. Right. Now, your question is, then what do we do? I know you're going to ask that. Well, I'm never in a rush for solution.
Right.
I think the diagnosis is 50% the solution. There must be a conversation. There got to be a conversation.
Yeah.
But the question is, who is going to bail the cat? Black Americans do not have a leader. It depends on where you go. There's a different leader. Al Sharpton's theory or doctrine is different from Jesse Jackson's doctrine, different from Martin Luther King. Every pocket has its own thought leader, and so you don't have any central theme. You don't.
Well, I think, wouldn't you say, like, most people would consider that Obama was a leader of the black people?
Political leader?
To some degree.
Well, that's political leader. He's a political leader of the Democratic Party, which is a white party.
Okay. So when you're saying the black people don't have a leader, so in what capacity are you talking about? If it's not in the political
the most
realm?
important one is the social. See, the black problem cannot be solved with political legislations and stuff. It's a social problem, not a political problem. And now they're trying to solve their social problems with politics. That's why they go out and they have organizations like Michelle Obama, get out the vote.
Right.
Get out the vote for what? What? And that's why when Obama left office, he went on the Breakfast Club. And the question they asked him is, you didn't do anything for black people. And then he sat there for 15 or so minutes trying to justify. And I'm thinking, wasted education. You will think this man, because you didn't ask for anything. That's why I couldn't do anything. Then Kamala Harris comes on. The Breakfast Club asked her the same question. And she said, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you that there's any particular thing I would do for black people. And they held that against her. Well, they asked the question. Remember when Biden went on the Breakfast Club, and I did an episode on it. And when he was about to leave, Charlemagne said, hey, and you have to come back. And he goes, well, if you haven't made your mind to vote for me, then you ain't black. Okay? And then Charlemagne's response was, hey, listen, I'm just here asking for something for my people. Something, he said. He doesn't even have what he's asking. Now, the problem we are discussing here, Biden can fix it. The Democratic Party can fix it. The Republicans can fix it.
No.
A politician can fix it. And that's why I had that conversation with Montel Williams that I told him. blacks are doomed in this country, doomed forever.
Yeah.
If they continue voting and waiting on elections to solve their problem, because
Right.
their problem is not a political problem, it's a social problem.
Yeah. And it goes, it reminds me of the song by Michael Jackson, right? If you want to make a change, start with the man in the mirror.
Yes.
So I think it's, it comes down to each, individual
Yes.
to really, take the initiative to launch that change.
So we are in a serious quagmire as to where do we start? If somebody would ask that question, well, I will not pretend to be the one with the answer, but at least start having the conversation about it.
Right.
At least start thinking of what is the root cause of this, as we are discussing here. There is no way anyone can argue that it's not a cultural problem.
No, of course.
Everything to do with African Americans in this country is a cultural problem.
Of course.
You see, manners, behaviors, ethics, work ethics, these are all culturally driven.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't teach them in school.
No.
You inherit them from home. You inherit them from a community. Do you believe? Can you believe that the 50 states in this country, not a single state in America has a black community? If you really define what a community is, there are black neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods, yeah.
But we don't have a black community.
So define the black community for our audience.
Well, take an example of Chinatown.
Okay.
Chinese don't come here saying, "Oh, I'm rich, then I'm going to live in Greenwich."
Right.
There's a reason they all want to live in Chinatown. Because the kids grow up and they just inherit the culture, the traditions, the customs, because they see another Chinese, a
Right.
Chinese family, a teacher, a lawyer, an engineer, and they just see it. So for children, the eye teaches them more than the ears. What they see is what they copy.
Exactly.
Now, even in Bridgeport, as small as it is, in Bridgeport is divided into what? 4 parts. Go to Park Avenue, and as soon as you begin to ascend the hill towards Sacred Heart,
yeah.
that is the Jewish community. They have the synagogues there. They have the Jewish community center. They have the Jewish children's home and everything. Next to it is the Greek center. So the Greeks, they bring their kids, they speak in their language. They have the Greek festival every year.
Yeah.
The street is blocked. That's a community. Chinatown is a community. They write everything in Chinese. Flatbush is a Korean town in New York. The churches, the daycare, the primary schools, their businesses, law firms, real estate, all concentrated in one place.
Yeah.
I was in LA in June for a conference, and I decided to go to Little Tokyo, and I was blown away. They took a section of LA,
Right.
and you see Japanese history on walls, on the streets. You think you are in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So kids grow in that place, and they don't have to look far, but they are still in America. America is not a melting pot, it's a salad bowl. I need to know the lettuce, the carrot, the tomatoes, the onion. They are still there, you can tell, but they're all part of it. So when I say blacks don't have a community, that's what I mean.
Right. See, I'm trying to think back to, to the time of slavery. So when they brought us, in the ship, we were here. We're stripped down of our culture, stripped down of our traditions, and all of that. So it's almost like now, I don't want to say we were forced to become Americanized, right? But it's like we were forced to adopt this, and this new environment, and somehow blend into this, American life, and then start practicing their tradition or whatever tradition was around. And maybe that's why we lost the sense of culture.
Well, I wish we adopted. We didn't even adapt.
How so?
Well, you take a look at what America, by that, say there is a mistake. I remind myself all the time, I'm an American politically, meaning I ask for naturalization.
Right.
Which means they would allow you to bear the American citizenship, but only as a naturalized immigrant. In my passport, it says American, place of birth.
Yep.
Benin. Okay? So I know that I'm not American culturally. I can never be. When a tree falls into a river, it doesn't become a fish. So as long as I remain in this country, I'm still a Beninois. So I'm a Beninois American.
Gotcha.
You say so, you know everything about me already. That is different. So the African Americans could not become Americans. They are in America. They have not adapted, because if they have adapted, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Their mannerisms and the way they interact with law enforcement and school, it would be the same as, yes, I was saying Westport and Greenwich. So one, we did not adapt, and two, we're not Africans either.
Gotcha.
You see? We got to have this conversation for people to understand. You know, today, if you go on TikTok, it's all over the place. It started about a month ago. African Americans now have a problem. They said they shouldn't be called African Americans. It's been going on all over discussions.
So what do they want to be called now?
They said they should be called Americans.
Americans?
Yes.
Okay.
So they started, they called them colored people.
Okay.
And then after that, they called them the Negroes. And then after Negroes, Afro-Americans. So in the 60s in Africa, what we know about African Americans is Afro-Americans. And that, if you ask me, is the appropriate name. Like we have Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Cubans, Afro-Latinos. It means that by your skin color alone, your root is Africa.
Yeah.
Chinese are called Chino-Americans. We have Indo-Pakistanese. That prefix is an intellectual one, it's an academic thing.
Right.
But no, they said they didn't want to be called Afro-Americans. So then they started calling them Black Americans. In 1987, I think it was Jesse Jackson who led the effort to say, no, we shouldn't be called Black Americans, we should be called African Americans. Now they say they don't want to be called African Americans because they're not from Africa. What do you mean you're not from Africa?
Yeah.
If you say you're not from Africa, then it means you're saying there was no slavery.
So you're disconnecting from your root.
Yes.
That's pretty much what it is.
You're saying you're not from, you know.
Got it. Yeah.
The African American, the short form is Afro-American. So what would the conversation lead us to? I have always said that self-awareness is powerful. Even though you may not change to become something, but at least you are aware of why you behave in certain ways, your relationship with money, your relationship with education, your relationship with law enforcement. It reminds you that, oh, it's because I'm in a different environment.
Yeah.
Okay? So what we are seeing happening in America is a very simple thing. There is nothing wrong in America peculiar to black people. It's just somebody trying to fit a square pole into a round hole. They are in a wrong environment. That's it.
Got it. Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, you know, how do you shine a light on that particular issue, right?
Well, that's why we have YouTube.
That's why we're here.
And that's why we have 2.0. You know, if they would listen. And listen, it took thousands of years. It wasn't just 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
Somebody said the earth was flat. Common sense, you take a look at it, you would conclude it was flat, right? That stood for thousands of years. Nobody had to question it. Now, somebody, and I used to say it a lot, he saying that the earth was round was not what intrigued me. You know, giving us the right shape. Because when we said it was flat, everything was still the same.
Yeah.
We were breathing, eating, sleeping with women, making children.
There was
and we
no
died.
impact.
Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Okay. So for him saying it was round, the shape he revealed was not what intrigued me. What intrigued me was, what nerve for him alone against the kings and the church to say, I'm going to say it anyway. Now that intrigued me.
Had to be brave enough.
To say it, one person.
Right.
And lo and behold, he was Galileo. Yes, he was ostracized, or what they call disassociated, and said he should never make any public utterance until I think he went underground with the Illuminati. So said the story, you understand? So yes, things like this that we are saying here today, we will not live to see the result. Somebody is going to listen to, because these are not time constrained conversations. These are things that are going to stay. Somebody is going to listen to this and say, so what do we do? You see, Isaac Newton did not discover gravity, but he was the only person who asked the question that forced people to say, well, then something must be pulling objects down. So the question he asked led other scientists to rush into their basement to say, he's right. Why do things only fall perpendicular to the earth? Why do they not fall vertical upward or sideways? Something must be pulling them. You see, that caused scientists to say, then let's go look for what is
Yeah.
pulling. You see, then whoever came with the answer, the credit is still for the one who asked the question. So what we're doing here is, what is the epidemic? What is the cause of the epidemic among blacks? And I'm saying it, I've given a lot of examples. Unless somebody says I'm wrong, then the person should tell me why.
Yeah.
And we also must be careful with how we rush to answers. I say it all the time. Conclusions are soft prisons we build around ourselves. Because once you make a conclusion about something, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay? So nobody should take my word for it. But somebody should take the time and ask, why this particular thing will be so common among people who lost their culture?
Yeah, to investigate.
Marriage institutions has to be built on a culture.
Yeah.
It dictates how the man, why they say you are the head of the family. It dictates why you are the queen of the household.
Yeah.
The children then will understand the relationship they have with these two institutions that have come together as one.
Right.
And that we must talk about. So what is the way forward? Well, it is up to some wise men one day to say, okay, is it too late? No, it's not. I've seen phenomena where people got tired finally and say, you know, the Amish, they are white.
Yep.
Why did they insist they must have a separated or a segregated community in America? Because their belief, their traditions, their customs, they don't want to lose it.
No.
You lose that, you have
lose
nothing
everything. Yeah,
left.
exactly.
So you can laugh at them for not having televisions and laptops. But you see, they are living a life of quality and value with an objective for their children.
And peaceful.
And peaceful.
Yeah.
But here we are. We are only interested when somebody is running for office and he happens to be a Democrat. Here we are when a mulatto says, he didn't even say he's black. We told him, Obama, you're black. Well, what can he say? He came along with it.
We told him it's black,
Oh,
so
we told
he
him
ran
it's
with
black.
it.
And then he said, well, they're calling me black, I got to accept it, you know?
Got it.
And then we were jumping up and down.
Yeah. So I think it's probably a good segue for us to go to the question that we ended your podcast on, right? I think we were talking and we said, what do you think is the impact of social media on the divorce that we're seeing now?
Yeah, they say that art imitates life. Otherwise, artists will not have anything to. So imagination is not so mysterious, you know.
Yeah.
Imagination, you have to know something first in order to then, fabricate it.
Right.
Okay. So social media is not causing the divorce. Social media is only highlighting what is going on.
No, yeah, it's not causing it, but would you agree that it may be a contributing factor?
No, not at all. How could it be? Why is it not a contributing factor to the Jews? Why is it not a contributing factor to the Dearborn, Michigan Arabs who live there?
No.
Why is it not a contribution factor to divorce to explode among Chinese? You know?
I mean, I don't know what the divorce statistic is among the Chinese, and I don't know if if we could directly relate it to social media. But what I'm saying is that sometimes there are certain things that you're watching on social media, and then it kind of like makes you question or makes people question their relationship. Right?
No, but I'm saying, if that were the case, if social media, we're all human, we all consume media, then it should have the same effect on everybody else who's here.
Well, I mean, it has some effect, right? Maybe not to the level that we're seeing. And
well, we should talk about why are we the ones with the most impact? That's what we
because we're the one with no culture.
Exactly. So without the culture, then social media is even not a conversation anymore. It's going to affect you anyway. You understand? And then we started to glamorize it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
you have
we
all
started to
those.
glamorize
Yeah, you have all those experts who are giving relationship advice or who are telling you how things should be. Because sometimes you may have been married for 15, 20 years. You are happy in your you're content in your relationship, right? And then you're going through social media and somebody's telling you, oh, well, if your husband is not doing this, your husband is not doing that, your wife is not doing this, then it goes back and makes you question, like, huh?
No, it is only affirming what you're going to do. The propensity that you're going to do it is already there.
Yeah.
What you saw, say, aha. Otherwise, if you were a Japanese who lives in a community and you have a cultural, impact on your life, then you just see it and it won't do anything to you. I did an episode where I was saying it is very stupid. Very, very stupid. We tell our kids that in the 60s that the CIA or FBI poured drugs in black communities. That's how blacks became crackheads.
Yeah.
What do you think we are telling our kids? that our forefathers are stupid. They're not smart people. And I made a joke. If you pour the same crack in a Jewish community, even at a discount price, they will walk past it.
So you don't believe that happened?
No, the propensity was there. They won't waste their money if they didn't know you will use it. The propensity was there.
So you're saying, okay. So you're saying there was a desire there for it, and that's why it happened.
Look,
That's why it took off.
If you say CIA and FBI, what is one of the things they are good at? Profiling.
Yeah.
They understand human psychology. That's most departments they study.
Correct.
So whether they brought it or not,
Yeah.
I'm not there. I don't know. Number two, you have to question.
Yeah.
How did they bring it? They drop it door by door?
No, but the thing is, it's
So
like
the question is not what they brought.
Right.
The question we should ask is, why did you use it? That's correct. That would help you. See, one time I was in when I was in Kenya, the Goethe Institute asked me to come and speak to a group of activists, Kenyans, who are all up in arms about neo-colonization and colonization. One young kid got up and during the Q&A, and he said, well, Mrs. Zanu, you know, they came, they asked us to change our names to their names, and we thought their names was better, and we did, and their language and their religion. He went down a laundry list of things he believed that the white people brought, and we took it.
Yeah.
And then he got an applause. You know? And I said, wow, I have never met anyone who have made it so clear. So I'm not bothered by what they brought. But I want to ask you, have you asked yourself, why did it work? That's what I'm interested in. Because they colonized other countries. Those countries rejected everything after the colonization.
Yeah.
In your case, why did it work? You see, if you concern yourself with finding out why it worked, then you're preventing it from happening again. Then you know your own weakness and you know the root cause. Why do we give up everything for this? It's what is important, not what they brought. So fine, they brought drugs and they drop it in your neighborhoods. My question is, how did they distribute it? Door by door? They gave it to your pastor to give to you? How did they distribute it? They gave it to another black guy to say, sell crack to your own people. He said, great, I'm going to sell it. But that is questionable in the first place. A black man standing in a black neighborhood selling crack to his own people. You really concerned about the person who brought it? No.
Yeah, but I think sometimes it's the opportunity, right? So if you're looking for, you know, a way, I don't know, looking for means, a way to make ends meet or whatever, and that is presented to you as an opportunity, probably maybe that's what they were thinking.
Well,
you know?
they say the devil, the devil's workshop is an idle hand. So why looking for opportunity to make ends meet and you didn't go the conventional way, where everybody in the morning is on the street going to the bus stop to go to his place of work,
right?
Regardless how humble that profession is. Why are you idle on your doorsteps drinking 40? And of course, the propensity is there. You want it. It's only for people who do not have culture, okay, that they would want to get rich quick, because it allows them to buy things, material things that would reflect what they want people to know about them.
Right.
But you see, cultures precede the individual. When people hear about your country or they have immediately images. If I ask any, and I've done it before, a group of black kids, and I say, Chinese, what comes to your mind? There will be 3 adjectives right away. If I say Russians, 3 adjectives, you know, and on and on and on. But if I ask those people about blacks, if I ask blacks about themselves, what adjectives come to mind first?
Yeah.
So you see, you got to talk about self-awareness. We should become aware of what happened to us, where we are now, the environment, and then know that, yes, with such a condition, things can happen to you. It doesn't need anybody to do it. No, nothing is happening in America. A group of old retired white men in a room somewhere in Alabama cranking out system to hold black people down. No, it's not true. What has happened, which you have not corrected, is a workshop for everything to germinate and work.
Gotcha. So it's almost as if you don't believe that, you know, white people, black people are being oppressed, right? But
it's not a question of belief. You can educate me. Show me the oppression.
No, well, I'm just saying, but it's more a matter of mentality, right? A mental state, or what you're accepting, or what you're, what you're fighting for, right? Because, like you said, why does it work when they try it? When they did the crack in the black neighborhood.
Well, that is if they did.
Right. That you said that is if.
Yes.
Okay.
This was I wasn't there. I didn't
Yeah.
see it. Nobody have shown me how it was done. I don't know.
Right.
What was the government doing that for? I don't know. But I'm using the statement, and what I do best is to question the answer. What do you mean the FBI brought crack to black neighborhoods or black community?
Right.
Neighborhoods, it's a very fluid. You can rent and leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
So when you started seeing crack, why didn't you move? And whom did he, how was it distributed?
Right.
And why did you take it? It's the thing I'm talking about. Which sound, sane, emotionally balanced person will come across poison and then take it?
And take it. Yeah.
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 What is that? What is even if that is true, you know what an intelligent culture will do? You will refuse to repeat it for the sake of your children.
Yeah. Yeah, because at some point they pull a stop into that bleeding, right? So you don't just let it, let the neighborhood just bleed out.
Yeah, and you keep repeating it
Right.
to justify yourself, so that your children. So what are they supposed to do? Oh, my forefathers are stupid people.
Yeah.
Why did you take poison? It never happens. It never happens to human beings. It may happen to one or two people, but it's not going to be this is not COVID.
Right. So yeah, I mean, like you're saying, it's up to us, at one point to stand up and just put a stop to it, right?
How are you going to do that?
By having conversations like this, like we're doing now.
Well, you have, the conversations before even stand up to put a stop to it. That is jumping. First is to have the conversation. Are you going to have enough people to even agree that, yes, we should do some introspection? We should talk about this in a solemn, intellectual, intelligent way for the sake of our children.
Yep.
Okay? That is first and foremost the most important thing to do. Forget about what is going on. Forget about the epidemic.
Yeah.
You need to come home and say, the churches have to start. They have to start talking about this. Look, many people would pay think tanks to say, come and study this, and please let us know what you think. Which means you are ready to accept the finding. You are ready to accept the finding.
Right.
Okay? So first is to put ourselves there, to accept the findings. We got to forget about this movement. This political movement is not going to save you.
Right.
In November, you don't hear the pundits on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox talking about, the Chinese vote will go to Kamala, or hear the Japanese on television, the Japanese vote, or the Arab vote. No, why is it always? And the black vote, and the black vote, and the black vote, as if you are the only immigrant group in this country. Because they know that, yes, you are asking politicians to solve your social problems, which you've been voting for that particular party for. So since 1992 till now, 32 something years, the Democrats have taken over for 20 years, the Republicans 12. Bridgeport, New Haven, Waterbury, Hartford, same problem year after year. Nothing changes, nothing. But have they thought of changing it? No.
I mean, maybe they have thought about changing it,
Who
but
is
they haven't. They haven't
There's no
taken.
leader, is what I'm saying. There's no leader.
Right. I guess from an individual perspective, right? So maybe they want to see the change. They want to do something, but I guess they're not taking action or not.
They're not
taking
even
accountability.
questioning why is it that automatically if you walk into any urban black city town that they all vote Democrat. They haven't even questioned it in the first place to even think if they would do something about it.
Yeah.
They haven't. To the point, if you declare that you're a Republican, you're black, you're an enemy of the state right away.
Yep. And I think we can summarize everything that you just said here into one word, right? It's basically accountability.
No.
Yeah, because we need to start taking accountability and do that self-introspective, right? Introspect, just to figure out where did we go wrong, right?
We didn't go wrong anywhere.
I guess we did.
Accountability, it's only possible for somebody who knows what he's supposed to do, and for some reason did it in a bad way, and say, let me take accountability for this. That's where accountability is possible.
Right.
But when you don't even know what the problem is, where it came from, you're not going to take. Where are you going to take accountability? No black person is responsible for what is happening.
No, not that you're responsible, but it's just like, saying, just doing that analysis, right? Like an internal analysis, and say, what is happening? Why do we keep finding ourselves in these situations over and over and over again?
Yeah, but I'm asking, give me an example of if you were, say, I can do it. In what way can it be done so that it become a consensus? It can be done by individuals, when you don't have any central holding.
Well, I mean, yeah, it has to start with an individual, though. Somebody has to, kind of like take make the first step, right?
By doing what? Let's say
that analysis, though.
Yeah, but how do you fix the cultural problem? You and I seem to agree that yes, it's true. Look at Jamaica, right?
Right.
Bad Man said, I have 22 baby mamas, and he's hailed a hero. Nobody ever says anything. They say it on television.
Yeah.
So, where is it? How are you going to fix that? If the culture, for just the sake of this conversation,
sure.
If we agree that the culture, the absence of it, which is true, is a problem, how do we fix it? We can't end this episode without at least making an attempt. How do we fix it?
No, I got you.
Yeah, what do you suggest?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's just like, searching for the culture, trying to identify what the culture is, right? Because we talked about it in the beginning. It's like you're going to be searching for what's lost. So we have to first find out what it is that we lost, right?
Yeah.
So how do we discover that? Yeah.
So if we agree that is the culture, the loss of culture, is what is the problem for all the problems, even including our economic problems.
Yeah.
If that is, then what do? You can't buy culture.
No, you can't.
Walmart doesn't sell it. So what do?
Exactly. You can't buy it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you got to search for it and try to discover what it was, right? Because
you can't.
Apparently you don't know what it was, right?
But you can. No Black American can trace his or her tribe.
Okay.
So as long as you can trace your tribe back in Africa, that means you're not going to know your culture.
Okay. So then that means there's no way of fixing it then.
There's a way. There's a way to. The theory of the parasite.
Go ahead. Enlighten me.
So the theory of the parasite is if you cannot be on your own, find something and attach to it.
Yeah.
So that's why I said yesterday, you asked me, what is the solution?
Yeah.
I said, stop marrying each other.
I wasn't going to go there.
Because and I'm not saying it as a joke. I don't take these topics, So, Lauren has a culture, identifiable, all right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't have one, right? I said my culture is lost.
Right.
I need to join someone and at least work on
their culture.
On their culture.
Yeah.
As a foundation.
And then make that your culture.
You don't make it your culture. It's just a workshop because children are going to come out of it.
Right.
So they become the next lineage. You're trying to create the next lineage. You should be concerned with that, than just simply concerned with yourself. So what I would do is find someone who has that foundation and work on that foundation together for the next lineage.
So basically you're saying now Black people need to stop marrying each other and then start marrying other races who value their culture or who has a culture to value, and then attach to that culture, right? And then their kids will have, the new lineage that you're talking about will have that newfound culture, and that's what they're going to preserve.
Nobody should say I'm selling anything.
No, I'm not saying
I'm just speculating it. If it makes sense
I'm not saying you're selling it. But,
if it makes sense
just trying to understand.
Yeah, I have seen it. Even Eve, the bad girl in rap, after she went through all the black guys, she picked a blonde hair and said, I'm happy. She said it on a breakfast club.
Yeah.
And I saw her face, she meant it.
Got it.
The Williams sisters, the tennis great. I mean.
So then eventually that's going to dissipate the Black community or Black.
No, if you have a spoon of milk and you want to bake, a spoon of milk won't. So you look for a larger milk bowl, pour your spoon of milk in it, and it's part of the cake that has been baked. It's not dissipating anything. Well, you didn't have anything in the first place. So how can you dissipate something you didn't have? The culture you didn't have. So what is it you've lost?
Yeah.
You've rather help.
So now you're gaining the... Yeah.
Exactly.
Got it. Got it.
Exactly. But you know, the ego won't allow it. Oh, come on. I know many black folks here.
Yeah,
who,
I mean,
and they'll
you know.
say, well, you know, walking around with, you know, a white girl means I sold out. It's nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nonsense.
Got it. All right. So at least, I guess, you know, that's a possibility, right? That's one way of addressing the culture issue.
You know, for a second, let's pretend it's really something that is proposed.
Mm-hmm.
It would eliminate a lot of the suffering we are in right now. It will. For our children, I keep saying, man,
Mm-hmm.
not for us. You know, these are cultures, you know. If you ask Japanese, why do you work? Shikoto, that is the word for work in Japan.
Yeah.
And they said, I work for my community. That's how they say it. You know, Koreans never say my mother. Koreans always say our mother.
Our mother.
When you meet a Korean and he's talking about his mother, he wouldn't say my mother, he say our mother.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how deep that is? Try it. Koreans never say my country.
Mm-hmm.
In Korea, our country, they use our, the collective.
Right.
It's
So
powerful.
They don't personalize it.
That's correct. In Africa, if I were married and I'm in Africa, and you are just a member of the community, an elderly person, when you meet me and you greet, you know how you ask about my wife? How is our wife? We, in the Yorubas, the Igbos, we never say, how is your wife? Say,
Right.
how is our wife? How is our mother? It's deep, it's powerful.
Right.
It tells you something.
It's the language.
Yes. Okay. So you've lost it. You don't have it anymore. You don't have the culture. So you look for those, you know, I want to help the community, the country. Since you said, I am supposed to be American. Now they say you shouldn't say Black American.
Right.
That is even good. Start saying I'm American. Well, then marry an American. Doesn't have to be skin color. Well, the Martin Luther King said it, don't judge a man by the color of his skin. But here we are. Here we are. Judging every day by skin color. Umar Johnson is against that saying. He turned it upside down. Marry a woman because of her skin color is what he's preaching to our children. Do we call him out? No. And yet he has baby mamas.
Yeah.
He doesn't even take care of his own kids. His own daughter is on YouTube or whatever it is. But this is the man who has become the voice of wisdom. The Turkish, I believe, have a saying. You can tell the intellectual level of a particular group of people by who they enable as their mouthpiece. It's a shame that blacks will give Umajans a platform. It's a shame.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about us. Seriously. The intellectual quality of any group of people is known by the people they enable as
To
their
speak for them,
mouthpiece.
yeah.
To speak for them.
Wow. So it sounds like we got a lot of work to do.
Well, we have at least some solution tonight. Starting with you, you said the man in the mirror. I'm waiting to come to your next wedding. Junior, what did I say?
Okay, well, according to your theory, so I need to find a culture to attach to then.
The parasite theory. Even in business.
Yeah.
In business. I would rather call a non-black and say, look, come into my investment.
Yeah.
Yes. Because to be honest with you, that is not our forte.
No. No. But I think just like I said on your show the other day, right? It seems, there's hope. There is hope for that one day, blacks can support one another.
I don't like hope. Hope is what kept blacks in slavery for long.
Okay.
Hope is never good for people who are under a stress. It keeps them there for too long.
Right.
When people are under stress, take away hope and you see the wonders. A person with a floater, a person without a floater, when they jump into water, who makes the best effort to get out.
No, I got it. But you know, my use.
I forgot you're a church. You're a deacon in the church. So for you, hope is.
No. My use of the word hope is because I'm using us as an example right now, right? I was on your podcast the other day. You're on my podcast now. It's like, you know, we're already showing that, hey, we can support one another, right? And that's what we're doing here.
No, I'm not supporting you. No, I'm using your medium to talk to the audience to solve a bigger problem.
No, but
it's not a support.
Yeah, in a way, you're supporting me, though. You know, you're here.
Well,
we having this discussion, right? It's a support.
This support is what brought the problem we are discussing in the first place. Let me marry my black sister to support her.
No. What I'm saying is, like, you know, you said, like, you know, black people don't support each other's businesses, right? So let's say they don't go to their restaurants, or they don't shop at their stores. You know, they don't do stuff like that.
And so don't go trying to work with them to change that attitude.
No,
it's waste of time.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying that to say you have a podcast, right? That's your thing, and I have a podcast, and that's my thing.
Yeah.
Now I was on yours, and then you're on mine. So in a way, we're supporting each other.
I reject that. I brought you on because one, you're good looking, and I know the audience will love to look at you. Number two, you have something to say, and I know that. But if you had nothing to say, and I know, Junior is not going to say anything, I wouldn't have brought you on this.
No, I get it, but again, like I said, you
like the support thing. I don't like the support thing. No,
so you don't like the word support, but that's basically what it is, though. We're leveraging each other's platform, right, to share a common point.
We're using each other.
No, well,
I like that better.
We're using the platform.
We're using
each other's platform.
Yes, to send a message out to make the world a better place.
Correct. But my point is, what I'm saying is, if you, like, you could have easily said no.
Why would I say no?
If we were under the mentality that we don't want to support each other, right?
But that's like, what you keep saying. You're trying to make it say that I came on your show because you're black and I'm black. No, that is not true.
No.
I look at your website, I look at your YouTube. The topic is interesting to me, very dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And so I said, yes, let me go and use his platform to send my message.
Right.
I said, oh, wow. Junior did see some value in my thinking because we had a conversation before.
Yeah, we did, of course.
So it is the value in my thinking is what allow you to bring me here.
Right.
But it's not because, let me go support him. I'm not supporting you.
Okay.
I'm working on the problem.
All right, so we're working on the problem together,
correct,
right?
together.
So can you agree to that?
You're coming to the support again. Now, you are a Christian. Let me tell you something, that at one point, even the people we are calling enemies in this country, which we should stop, we should. God wanted to do something. You know who he called for coffee? Satan. When he wanted to test his son, Job, he said, yo, come here. I've seen my son Job recently.
Right.
And Satan goes, oh, yeah, because he's got everything. God said, okay, I'm going to allow you, test him for me. Don't take his life.
Right.
And Satan went to work. So even God, there are certain projects he will work with the enemy for the good. And we should start, and since blacks are Christians, they should read that place again. And the people you have rejected calling enemies is the reason where we are, we should change, including Africa.
Yeah.
All these everyday activists are saying, oh, the imperialists and oppressors, and no, you're suffering. Your children are going to suffer. We should stop it.
Gotcha.
Really go in, if we truly are, excluding me, Christians, then go deeper than and see even God could allow the bad boy to work with him. So you see, Satan didn't support God, and God didn't support Satan. He just said, let's work on this project together.
Fine. All right, so Frank, it's always a pleasure to work together with you. Well, thanks for being on 2.0.
Yes. You're a good brother. I like what you're doing. I watched the part 2 again this afternoon with Dwayne. I said, come and see what this new guy I met, I met. Really, this topic is very important, and we took a look at it, part 2.
Yeah.
And so.
All right, appreciate it.
Great.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks again for being here, man. We appreciate it.
Any day, any topic that comes, if I can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and same thing for you, man. If you want to use me again, on your platform. So
Most certainly. Great.
Got it.
Cut.
Well, guys,
Yes.
that's it. Wrapping up this episode. Again, I want to say thank you to our friend Franck Zanu for being on 2.0. And as I said, this is a part 2 of the conversation that we're having. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to part 1 once he releases it. I'm going to put it on the description here so you can go ahead and watch it and then come back and watch part 2 here. And also you'll have all his information if you want to look him up and reach out to him. His website will be on there. He's a motivational speaker. He goes around the world speaking, so feel free to reach out to him. And stay connected. And again, as you know, we don't promote divorce. We don't support divorce. If you do find yourself to be going through a divorce, we know it's not easy, but we encourage you to stay in there and hang in there. And just know that it's not the end, and you don't have to do it alone. Feel free to reach out to someone, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you, and just hang in there. And don't forget, live every day as if it is your last day, because one day it will be. Thanks for watching 2.0. I'll see you next time.